The show is really awesome. We're coming straight from Austin. Let's talk sports.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Sports. I'm Dan Hurwitz.
And I'm Bhuchar. Dan, we're back after a 2-week hiatus. A lot has happened in those 2 weeks. The Longhorn football teams lost twice, which is 2 times more than you actually want to lose. So we're going to take the week off from talking about them because they're having the week off. What do you say to that?
I'm fine with that.
Cool.
No problem.
Yeah, we'll wait till next week to talk Longhorns football. But what we will talk about are Longhorns of the past who are playing football in the NFL. And we're each going to list off a couple of our favorite players, or players that we like to watch right now that were former Longhorns. Dan, why don't you kick us off?
All right. Well, I'm going to start off with actually a pair of Longhorns who are on the same team. I'm going with Jordan Shipley and Quan Cosby, both wide receivers / special team specialists for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now they're both just wearing a different shade of orange, playing with Carson Palmer up there, way up north in Ohio. I don't even want to.
Yeah, Ohio.
Think what it's like up there. But they're both contributing already. Cosby was an undrafted free agent signed last year and came in late in the year and made some big contributions, returning kicks, and eventually got in there as wide receiver. Shipley drafted in the 3rd round and has already been the guy to go to after Ocho Cinco and Terrell Owens. Those 2 guys get all the attention, and Shipley gets the ball. Actually got a big hit this past weekend against the Cleveland Browns, and got a concussion, and so we're hoping for a speedy recovery from him.
Right.
But those will be my one of my favorite Longhorn duos. My top player that's in the NFL, former Longhorn, is Derrick Johnston, who is the linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, who are currently the last undefeated team remaining in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Derrick Johnston was just, I remember watching him, 5, 6, 7 years ago. He was just the man. He would be in on every tackle. I would especially love when he chased down the running backs and swat the ball underneath where they're carrying it up. And I remember he had a big one of those against OU in, I believe, 05. Or no, 04, excuse me.
Yeah.
And he struggled a little bit for Kansas City his first few years, but this year's really kind of stepped it up a little bit and been in on a bunch of tackles and really being a playmaker for the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. Who would have thought? Right. Samir, what are your thoughts on the former Longhorns?
Right. Well, keeping with the Kansas City Chiefs, of course there is Jamal Charles, former running back. He played here, I believe, 2 years ago.
2 years.
Sorry. 2 years ago, and he has really made a splash in the NFL. He's projected to run for over 1,200 yards. He's owned by 100% of fantasy owners, if that makes his stats any better. Also, he's neared 100 yards twice in 2 of the games so far. I believe 93 yards in game 1 and 97 yards in game 3. And he's also a pretty big passing threat. So he's scoring touchdowns, he's getting yards. Matt Castle really looks to him to sort of set up the play action. And I think he's an exciting player to watch. And like you said, I'm the only undefeated team left in the NFL. The other player who is extremely exciting to watch and making that immediate impact is rookie Earl Thomas, safety for the Seattle Seahawks. He's already got 3 picks in 4 games. One of them was a game-winning pick, pretty much. And he's already got 23 tackles. So he's really stepping up his game. And the Seahawks are going to make a run for that NFC West title. So
it'll be something to see. The NFL season's still early, but
they look good. They look real good. Anyways, but going with this NFL theme, why don't we take a jump into our weekly segment, NFL Picks of the Week. We got 4 games on the docket. Let's start. Let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
Keeping with Kansas City versus Indianapolis this week. Who do you got?
While they're undefeated this week, they won't be undefeated for too much longer because Peyton Manning is coming into town, or maybe they're going into town to see Peyton Manning, and the Colts will be too much.
Right. Peyton Manning's too good. They may be 2-2, but the Chiefs still have a couple questions on defense. I think they're going to come out of this weekend with a 3-1 record. Nothing to feel bad about, though. They still look good and they still can push for a solid playoff run. Next game, why don't we do Tennessee versus Dallas?
Tennessee versus Dallas. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys, who are at home against Vince Young. I think they had a bye week, 2 weeks to prepare for this game. I think they'll take it.
I'm going to go ahead and go with Vince Young and the Titans. Though Dallas beat my beloved Houston Texans, and they did look real good, I think the Titans are just going to sort of do their usual jam it down your throat with Chris Johnson, let Vince Young throw for 150 yards and a touchdown, and, squeak out a victory. So I'm going to go with the Titans. And then, of course, we have my Houston Texans and the New York Giants, a game you're actually going to, right?
I'll be in attendance there wearing my Battle Red David Carr jersey. I'm going Houston to win.
I'm going Houston to win, though I'm really jealous that you get to go to the game and I have to watch it from my couch. And our final game of the week is, of course, the Monday night matchup with Brett Favre's former team, the Jets, and his current team, the Vikings. Who do you got?
Randy Moss is back in purple, back in Minnesota. I'm going with Randy Moss and the Minnesota Vikings.
I think before the Favre-Moss connection can be, this great quarterback receiving duo, it's going to take a couple of weeks. I'm going to say that the Jets, actually take this win. Mark Sanchez has been playing pretty well as of late. And Dustin Keller, who is on my fantasy team and has helped me win 2 weeks in a row, is going to have another 2-touchdown game, I predict. And why don't you guys post your favorite Longhorn players in the NFL and your picks and see how you fare against us. And I know I'm going to go 4-0, but you may want to try and guess against Dan, who's probably not going to do that.
Too bad. Well, enjoy your week off of Texas football, and we'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.